Hi, this is TJ from TJTrue.com, here to give you the tips and tools to increasing your black generational wealth. And today we're going to talk about the mentality of creating black generational wealth. More precisely, the faults in the mentalities that I see that are keeping people broke. Let's go through the list. Number one, the whole idea of treat yourself, don't treat yourself. I know we've all heard the phrase pay yourself first, but that's not what they mean. That is not what they mean. Treat yourself, don't cheat yourself is usually an excuse to spend money on an unnecessary items. And let's be clear, unless you have 6 months worth of savings saved up in case of catastrophic failure when it comes to income, unless you have a stock portfolio where you have some residual income coming in, unless you have a separate form of passive income. If you're only relying on one source of income, you don't have a such thing as unnecessary of extra money at all. You don't have a single extra cent, and you need to be budgeting severely to make sure that the income that you do have isn't squandered. So the whole idea of treat yourself, don't treat yourself, throw it out the window because you can't really treat yourself for doing nothing. And if you're not growing your wealth, then you're literally doing nothing with your money and you've been treating yourself this entire time. It's the number one way to stay broke. The whole idea of you can't take it with you when you die. I know you've heard that. You might have said that. You can't take it with you when you die. You can't take it with you when you die, but the entire idea of generational wealth is to plan for it to be left to good use and to be increased so that you make more than yourself profitable, so that you leave a legacy. You know, um, it's the worst kind of excuse to spend your money because it's actively training your mind to go against generational wealth, which is something in the black community we need to be obsessed with. We need to be focused on single mindedly, is creating generational wealth for our families. Not just our families, but our friends and our communities. If you don't have any children, you still shouldn't think of the whole you can't take it with you when you die because there's somebody's children that you love. Whether it's your nieces and nephews, your cousins, foster children, boys and girls club. I don't know. There are plenty of people, um, foster children. I mean, there are plenty of people who need something and would really benefit from a hand up in this world. So the idea of can't take it with you when you die, throw that out the window. Um, Similarly, you only live once. YOLO! Well, yeah, we know you only live once. That doesn't mean squander your earnings during your very short lifetime, knowing that one day you might become a parent and not have anything to give your children. Your children might grow up and not have anything to give their children. Like, please think ahead. Like, you don't have to have children, but you do need to think ahead. You're going to want to retire one day. You're not going to want to work until you're 70. You might not want to work until you're 60. I don't. You might not want to work until you're 50. I don't. I'm not planning on that. That's not what my whole life is about. I plan on doing some form of work, but not working for other people. So keep that in mind when you're yelling out YOLO. And also, outside of generational wealth, please don't use YOLO to explain why you would do drugs, engage in weird sexual activities that might do something to your body that you don't need done. Uh, Drugs, all that, like, YOLO is not a good excuse to throw your life away. It's really not. Like, you really only live once, but live your best life. Really. Um, what's the next? Oh, I know you've heard this one. You probably said this one. I've said this one. Um, this little $5 won't hurt. You know, like, you make an excuse that the smaller amount of money that you're spending, like if you're buying a $5 Happy Meal or burger or liquor or wine or cigarettes or some small expenditure that you're making every single day, and you're thinking that because it's so small, it's not hurting anything. you need to calculate the amount of money that you're putting into something. That's if you're spending $10 a day on something, that's $300 a month. That's $3,600 a year. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. First of all, it's a lot of money because you could open a business with that. You could literally open an Amazon FBA and have enough money to tide over that whole entire restock situation until you've made your money back and increased and made a profit. $3,600, you could buy you could buy 3 acres of land in a cheap area. You know what I mean? $3,600. You could buy a lot of stuff that could actually help you increase your wealth instead of spending it blatantly on bullshit. Excuse my French, but that's true. And on to the next one, but it's kind of in addition to this is the idea that everybody's got a vice. Everybody does have something that they want to do. Some people have addictions that are considered diseases that they need help to get past or some type of intervention. But the idea that everybody has a vice, like I vape. I'm not gonna lie to you. I vape. Is it a vice? Yes. Do I have to have it? No. No. It helped me quit smoking, but if I'm being completely honest, it's an extra expenditure that I really don't need in my life. It helps me, but it's not a necessity. And if I think about the fact that I'm spending $50 a month on vape oil, that's $600 a year. $600, you could register 2 whole businesses in your state, at least, maybe 3, depending on what the fees are. But let's be real, we're all spending money on bullshit. We don't need to be spending. Um, okay, so the last one is God. The idea that people actively work towards but don't realize that they're doing it is not being broke takes too much work. Let me explain. Starting a business is hard work. The amount of work you have to put in to turn a profit, even to just break even, is amazing. It is. It is. You have to work. If you own your own business, you're working like 12, 16 hours a day type situation. You're putting in work, but it's yours and it's going to pay off. And a lot of people don't want to do the legwork. They would rather do the 9 to 5 because they don't have to think about anything. They don't have to plan, and that's fine. That's fine. But if you are planning on not being broke for the rest of your life, then you need to think about putting in some work to creating a second or third source of income or a business or something that can increase your wealth because it's important. You're not going to get anywhere just working for somebody else for the rest of your life. And I know it's sad. I know some people enjoy their jobs where they're working for other people, and that's awesome. But on the other hand, you also need to have several other sources of income just to make sure that you lose your job, you still get paid. You get sick, you still get paid. You know what I mean? Like, you get really sick and medical bills aren't covered by the insurance of the job that you have, but you're still getting paid, so you can at least, you know what I mean? Like, let's think ahead. Um, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Thank you for listening. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and the notification button and the like button, and I will see you next time.